Good morning, Newcastle. You've made it through a Valentine's Day weekend, and here's hoping you had a great weekend. It's February 16th. It's President's Day. Hopefully you have that first cup of coffee because it's pretty cold out there, and we're going to get to weather and sports and a whole lot more right after we get to the top stories today in Newcastle, PA. And yes, today is President's Day. Government offices, not all, but some agencies are closed. Newcastle city schools are closed today. And by all means, check our blog. I tell you that for any closings or delays. You can see it right below this video. We update it regularly. So we will be watching for any Lawrence County schools that may have been in session, but due to weather or some other conditions will be listed below. Now, let's take a look at some of the things going on in and around Lawrence County and Newcastle. It was a Sea of Blue march downtown in Newcastle, and the Newcastle Police Department was honored, and other law enforcement officers and marchers. They started over behind the Cascade Galleria at Beer for Less. Thanks to Amy Smock and the Newcastle Police Department for helping to keep the march organized. Pictures came in from Reverend David Young and his wife. It was called A Sea of Blue. Now, let's take a look at some of those pictures sent in. And I want to thank Reverend David Young, who's actually stopped in after the march, and the pastor at Washington Union, who was with David. Thanks to all who participated. And thank you to the Newcastle Police Department, Bobby Salem, and the city for all their help and service. It's greatly appreciated. Turning to business downtown, Cindy Hall and Robert Hall are to open their shop Friday, and it's at 112 East Washington Street. Now, listen, this you have to see. It's called Cindy's Farm, and it's fashion, clothing, and accessories for women. It is outstanding. I talked with Cindy and Robert, and they said I could talk to them at a later date. They were busy doing some work around the store. But let's take a look at those pictures that are utterly tremendous. You're not going to want to miss this when it opens on Friday. Yes, isn't that amazing? It looks great in there. They have jewelry, accessories. You really have to stop in and take a look. Congratulations to Cindy and Robert. Best wishes for a great opening on Friday. We wish them all the best. And that just goes to show you that life in downtown Newcastle is alive and well. If you take a look on Jefferson Street, 103 North Jefferson Street to be exact, right next to Domino's, across from China Banquet, who advertises with us, you'll see Jefferson Mini Mart. For those people living in and around downtown Newcastle, it is utterly fantastic. Let's take a look. Yes, that's the Jefferson Mini Mart. And if, in case you think that, it's just happening in downtown Newcastle or something along those lines, well, wrong again. Out in Bessemer, they have the Mocha House coffee shop that opened, and the band Colville You might recall them from our Saturday night music special. They're going to be performing at the Mocha House in Bessemer Saturday the 21st. Yes, Newcastle and Lawrence County this February, the cold hasn't worn them down. Things are going along and people are out and moving. Make sure that you catch our reality show. It's called Crazy Car Restoration. It's the Crazy Car Come Together tour. The episodes are on NCTV45 and airing on Channel 183. I believe that it's one of the first reality shows produced, aired on a Newcastle media and in Newcastle by Newcastle people. So hats off to Norm Lutton. Thanks, Norm. Keep up the great work. And all that video is gladly appreciated. Just to give you a few ideas going around. Now, this was a very special weekend. Not just because it was Valentine's Day, but this weekend was special because there was a lady that had 104-year-old birthday. Okay, Gino Print sent this in, and he said to his grandmother he wishes he was in Newcastle right now so he could celebrate, have a glass of wine with her. And he said, happy birthday, Grandma. We love you. Let's take a look at Gino's grandmother. Yes, so we wish NCTV45 wishes her a very happy birthday. Now, sent in from Jake Hauk. And this was, I found it kind of humorous. Thanks, Jake. Here was a couple Valentine's Day wishes. First, we're going to look at Jake's and then Peggy's. This had an idea to get your Valentine something, and it was one of those signs that probably back when would have made the Tonight Show and Johnny Carson. Let's take a look. Yes, I thought that was a humorous sign. You never know about those hoagies that you can get. And this was sent in, and I told everybody last week about it being National Pizza Day. I even created a makeup day to National Pizza Day, which was on Thursday. Peggy, and good friend of mine, thanks for sending this in. Okay, this is what, and Pizza Joe's is an advertiser on NCTV45. This is one of the things that Peggy sent in that stole my heart. Yes, you're going to love it. I want you to take a look. We're going to go to a few messages from our great sponsors, and we'll be back with sports. Now, let's take a look at what I call the best Valentine you could give somebody. And it's Buffalo, too.
The Crane Room for your lunch and dinner rendezvous. You'll enjoy their pleasant atmosphere. The Crane Room takes pride in their wide variety menu. Appetizers, sandwiches, soups, salads, entrees, pasta, and the best burgers in town. Newcastle's best selection of domestic, import, and craft beers from around the world, and the Crane Room features a 35-tap draft system. Ask about their daily specials that will please you every time. The Crane Room is located at 3009 Wilmington Road in Neshannock Township. Call 724-656-1553. It's Butts Flowers when you want a wide variety of flowers for any occasion. They also have a selection of fine gifts and more. Butts Flowers is conveniently located in downtown Newcastle at 120 East Washington Street. Call Butts Flowers at 724-652-7727 or toll free from anywhere, 1-800-443-7726. It's Butts Flowers in downtown Newcastle. NCTV45 is the right place to catch all the action, and Pizza Joe's is the action place to be for your favorite pizza, snacks, and beverages. And we want to thank Pizza Joe's for providing a grant for this podcast. They have a great staff at all of their locations to serve up your favorite pizza, drinks, and snacks, and they would love to see you anytime at their locations, State Street, Highland Avenue, Croton, and Shenango. Everyone goes. Pizza Joe's.
They look like you should be able to find them in a lot of the bigger, more expensive department stores.
I love this shrug. This shrug is by far my favorite accessory with this clothing line. This shrug allows me to wear it short and sexy or long and a little bit more flirty and flowy. So the transformation just happens just very uniquely by flipping the garment upside down. So if I remove my arms, flip the garment upside down, losing that scarf and collared effect, but again, taking that scarf and transforming it to the lower half, making it long and sleek. Super simple.
Welcome back. And yes, before we get to sports, I got to say thanks to Peggy Cousins. Buffalo chicken, heart-shaped Valentine pizza from Pizza Joe's. Great deal, Peggy. And now let's take a look at sports. Well, this kind of grabbed my heart. You know, people all know that I'm a big Notre Dame fan. The Irish grabbed a Hockey East win over the Friars of Providence, 2-0. Here's a look at those stats. Yeah, go Irish, as they seem to be burning up the ice. You can't beat that. That's a very enjoyable thought. You might recall Sunday it was a nationally televised game, the Pens and the Blackhawks, which seemed to be a good test for the Pens. Make sure that you check out our blog for that score. Also, remember that on Tuesday, the Washington Capitals come to town to meet those Pens at Console. Now, in college basketball, Pitt was on fire this weekend as they downed the Tar Heels of North Carolina 89-76. Penn State lost a tough one to Maryland 76-73. And the Dukes of Duquesne fell to UMass 82-74. While at home here, Westminster lost to Teal 66-48. Now, Notre Dame hoops team will take on Wake Forest on Tuesday. So if you were looking for a game from the Irish, you'll have to wait till tomorrow. Also, this past weekend, it was the NBA All-Star Game. Now, for those of you following the Cavs, they'll be taking on the Washington Wizards, but it won't be until Friday the 20th. And incidentally, the Cavs will be playing some away games and won't be home till the very end of the month. So keep that in mind, Cavs fans. Very important stretch for them. And very important that you get that cup of coffee. Take a look at our sponsors, and we're going to be back with weather right after these messages. The Beanery Depot and Deli. Coffee, made-to-order subs, snacks, and more. Meatball sandwiches, fresh and hot. Pepperoni rolls, fish sandwiches, chicken, milkshakes. The Beanery Deli. When you're hungry for something special, and it won't cost you a lot of beans. It's the China Banquet, 102 North Jefferson Street in Newcastle, for tempting, mouth-watering dishes that you'll enjoy. They have hours from Thursday, 11 to 9:30, Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10 p.m. You can call for takeout or eat in. China Banquet. Everything you've been hungry for right here in Newcastle.
Bill's Bake Shop will make you happy. Bill Cast is the owner, and he and his staff keep the tradition going with all those bakery items that you remember as a kid. Just to name a few items, Bill makes cream sticks, cinnamon rolls, bear claws, cream horns, cannoli, cakes, pies, cookies, bread, pizza, and so much more. Bill's Bake Shop, located at 228 North Liberty Street of the Mahoningtown section of Newcastle, is open Tuesday through Saturday, 7 to 5, and Sunday, 7 to 2, closed on Monday. Bill's, where smiles are everywhere. Call 724-654-4223.
Whether it's time to fix the furnace, throw the salt, shovel the drive, it's Paul D. Weller Hardware. We have what you need. Whether it's time to get warm, make the macaroni, make the ravioli, make the pizzelles, throw another log on the fire, or get ready for Christmas. It's Paul D. Weller. Welcome back, and how about taking a look at this weather? And wow, that's really all you can say, as we had pictures come into NCTV45 from everywhere, leading off with Ronnie Dam and followed up by just a few others, Route 18 and a few of the houses in the neighborhood. Let's take a look at those. That's the type of weekend that just spells cold. No matter how you look at it or see it, the roads were snow covered. Kudos to the roads crews that were trying to catch up. But we had snow coming down so fast. Pictures that came in from Pittsburgh, the National Weather Service, described some of it as thunder snow because of how quickly it was coming down. Unbelievably bad. If you like winter, that was your weekend. If you like a little warmer temperature, well, then not so much. Well, what was it like last night? Yep, partly cloudy and a low around -8. And that wind chill factor was a lot lower than that. Now, for President's Day, expect, and I laugh when I say this, so get that suntan lotion out. Mostly sunny high of 15. I mean, like, who writes this stuff? They write it like, oh, this should be your day at the beach. You know, a little swimming in the Shenango. Monday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 5, as if that's a lot warmer. And Tuesday, a chance of snow, mostly cloudy with a high near 27. Now, Tuesday, the chance of snow is 30%. And Tuesday night, there's a chance of snow, cloudy with a low around 10. And the chance of precipitation is 40%. So you see, as the temperature climbs, okay, so does the chance of snow. So it's not a real good win-win situation here. It's more like lose-lose. But here's hoping you stay warm. If you don't have to go out in this cold weather, stick around, watch NCTV45. We got plenty of great programming for you. Now, we're going to be back with a wrap-up right after these messages. Welcome back, and now it's time for a wrap-up. That's going to do it for this President's Day, Monday, February 16th. But before we leave you, a couple notes. A bye and a heartfelt thanks to my friend Father Mike Ackerman, who's leaving the Catholic community in Newcastle for Glenshaw. A little closer to home, a little more in Pittsburgh. Best wishes, Father Mike. It was so great having you here for the short time. I enjoyed our talks. I enjoyed our company. I enjoyed our fellowship. And I enjoyed your thought for the day. Once again, a farewell to Father Mike. May the road rise up and meet you, and the wind be always at your back. Also, with farewells, our logo that we've had, and what you're going to see in the next days, weeks, and months ahead is a new polished NCTV45. We have several people responsible for that. You should take a look at the credits. These people, some of them want to be named, some of them don't. But they are truly working behind the scenes to make Newcastle a better place. And, you know, when I say that, I kind of bite my tongue, because there's people that think less of Newcastle and Lawrence County than they should. And I got this quote today that I'm going to read from Pasquale Romano Jr. And I think it's very fitting to mention this. There's nothing better than taking care of my people from my hometown, Newcastle, PA. That place is so special. There's no place like it. For all of my Newcastle people, take our town don't take our town for granted. If all you do is talk bad about it, I have two suggestions. He goes on, please, he says, for all those Newcastle people, do not take our town for granted. If you do talk bad about it, I have two simple suggestions for you. One, move. Two, look deep inside, because the problem is not with Newcastle, it's with you. Thanks, Patsy. You know, I couldn't have put that any better. We're in a great place here. You got to love Lawrence County. You got to love Newcastle. And here at NCTV 45, we love the fact that you tune in every morning. You've made us a media leader and really gave Newcastle a new look, a better look. Hats off to all those who are here every day and are the unsung heroes. And to everybody watching, I only have one thing to say. Get that second cup of coffee. Bundle up, because it's cold. And we'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.